Good morning guys and welcome back to another vlog. It is bright and early on this Friday glorious morning. I'm obviously up and I'm up and ready, skincare and stuff, but I'm not fully getting ready because I've got a very busy full on day. I'm going to make myself a coffee and do some bits of work before I get into what I'm going to be doing. But basically, since last week's vlog, the garden is finally finished. The grout was all done yesterday, so I'll show you that maybe later on in the weekend because Darren's going to power wash it. But for the time being, I've mentioned the plantains that I need to fill with soil and plants and whatnot, and basically last night I had this kind of light bulb moment in my head where I remembered that we have this big bag of leftover boulder sand, and I remember reading somewhere that sand is good for drainage in planters, so I'm thinking I can maybe repurpose the sand and kind of put a layer on the bottom of each one just to kind of bulk it out a little as well, so I don't need as much soil. And then the other day there was this woman on Facebook Marketplace and she was doing her garden up, and she basically had dug up a whole bunch of, she's called it good soil, so I'm going to see, but she was just giving it away for free, so I thought what the heck, she was just down the road. So I took my dad and we went along and I picked up I think 5 bags of soil. So my job this morning is to get my shovel, sprinkle some sand along the bottom of each planter, and then kind of sieve through the soil, make sure there's not any bits of turf or weeds or anything really in the bags, and sprinkle that throughout the plantains as well, just so I don't have to buy as much topsoil. So then I'm going to go and get multi-purpose peat-free topsoil and then mix that in with everything, so then it's given some nutrients to the plants that I am going to plant in there. So that's the plan for this morning. Then I'm going to a wedding venue later today to drop off some invites for drop off some on the day stationery for a wedding that's happening this weekend. I've got some invites to post it into brides, and then tonight we are going to sip and paint. I think that's what it's called. One of those places where you sip, Prosecco and paint. So we're going down to Leith to do that tonight, which honestly I'm so excited for. I've wanted to do something like this for quite a while. Backstory to my life, if you didn't know, I was basically very into art, studied contemporary fine art at college, and spent many years painting and things. So even though it's probably been, I don't know, 7 or 8 years since I actually held a paintbrush, I am very excited, and I feel like I'm going to get back in the zone, and I'm going to probably come home and be like, Darren, can we turn one of the spare bedrooms into my painting room? And get an easel set up and whatnot. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that, so I'll take you along with me to there as well, and show you what I paint and what Darren paints. But it is BYOB, so that's good. I can just take my own bottle of rosy wine and sip away and paint away. So I'm very much looking forward to that. It is a glorious morning, so I'm excited to get out of the garden. I've just put rubbish old clothes on just because I probably will get muddy. I also have a few things in the house to show you that I've been purchasing, so I'll show you them later as well. But first let's make a coffee, catch up on some work, and get doing the garden. Okay, so the bag is like way too heavy for me to drag, lift or anything to get it through here of the boulder sand, so I'm going to have to basically shovel it from the garage, from the driveway, and bring it in one shovel at a time. As mentioned many a times here, I'm just winging everything, so if anyone is sitting there screaming saying don't put boulder sand in your plantains, you're too late, because I will have done it by now. So I'm just hoping and praying that I'm just sprinkling the bottom. It's like gritty, so it should provide like drainage, so the soils don't drown with too much, the plants don't drown with too much water. So that's what I'm hoping. So yeah, let's see. And then I'm going to bring in the soil from the car which by the way is stunk out the car. I opened the car and it smells like Dobie's garden centre. Darren's not going to be happy, but it's fine. Okay, I'm sweating. I literally felt like I was on World's Strongest Man, do you know when they carry those medicine balls and all like that? I feel like I should do a replay video of me versus the World's Strongest Man. I also can't find my gardening gloves, so I'm going to have to just use the marigolds. So I'm going to start sieving the soil into the pots and kind of filter out any junk I don't want in there. So see how it goes. I don't know what condition these bags of soil are in and what is really in there, but it'll bulk up some of the planters, even if it's just for the base, just to save buying 1.5 tons of topsoil. Honestly, that was like such a workout. I'm actually like super out of breath. So the bags were actually, they weren't too bad. There was a lot of grass turf in there, which I basically just sugared off some of the the mud and disregarded the turf, but there was a lot of good soil in there, and there was like some stones which would be good for the base for drainage as well. There was also a lot of worms, which at first I was like, ooh, get them out there, but then I remember my grandma told me that worms are good for the soil, so I was like keeping them in there. So hopefully, I don't even know what they do, but I've kept them all in there. So there's tons of worms squiggling around in the mud. So it's only filled maybe like 1/4 of the bottom of the planterns, but it was a lot that went in. So at least it saves on buying too much more topsoil. So basically just go and fill the rest with proper topsoil, which will help give nutrients to the plants. And we'll see where we go from there. As I say, I'm winging this whole thing. I have no idea what I'm doing or what I'm talking about, but Google shall be my friend. I'm also thinking, I know I was going to plant hydrangeas, but I think although they're low maintenance, I still think it might be a bit too much maintenance. So I'm not sure if I'm just going to go for like evergreen, round, bushy type of things, and then have potted plants with hydrangeas in them, because they would be easier to maintain and kind of trim back and make look neat. But of planters this scale, it might be difficult, so I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, I'm going to measure them up and see how many plants I would need to fill them, because we do want them filled for when we start hosting our parties, because the last thing we want is big empty holes in the ground, and when people have one too many rosés, we don't want anyone falling in them. So we do want them filled and ready, and also looking nice for when we start hosting our parties. I've also noticed that the garden furniture is filthy with the people that were here doing the grout, so we're going to have to wash that down. Darren has bought a contraption which is meant to be like a patio cleaner, and it's like an attachment that you attach to the pressure washer, so that should arrive today, so we'll maybe try and get on with doing that as well. I also need to clean the windows. That'll be a very satisfying job. So yeah, that's all of our to-do tasks for the weekend, but right now I'm going to go shower because I was sweating there, get ready for the day and catch up with yous at Sip and Paint. Righty-ho, we are ready for the day. I've actually got my hair straight, which is a very rare occurrence, but I just couldn't be bothered blow drying it curly, and look how long it is. Like, I need that cut ASAP. Anyway, let me show you a couple new bits that I've just got in. Excuse the mess, it's been a busy morning. But yeah, let me show you. This is the picture that I ordered from Dunelm. This was £24. Like, how good is that? I actually thought it was a gold frame, but it's a nice, really light oak frame, which ties in with the room and the aesthetics perfectly. Then this is my new chair. This was basically a temporary purchase of Amazon Home, of all places. I think it was $59.99, so in comparison to a few other ones, this was very cheap. So it was meant to be a placeholder chair, but Now that it's in, I actually am really happy with it, and I'm not sure if I'll change it, to be honest. I might get a little cream cushion just to break up the harshness of the brown, but all in all, I really like it. And then once I get my proper, again, excuse the mess, get my proper desk, I think it'll just finish off this room. So we're basically there. Like, this room is basically done, which makes me so happy. The curtains for the spare room also arrived, so I'm going to try and persuade Darren to put the curtain pole up today, and then we can hang them. And I also ordered some other bits off Amazon Home, which should arrive today or tomorrow, so I'll show you them as well once they arrive. So it's all the little finishing touches that I'm getting now, which makes me happy. Well, for down here anyway. Upstairs is still a riot. We're deciding on what to do. I measured up the size of the king bed if it was to go into the spare room, and it would fit, but it just would be a bit squashy with bedside tables. So I think we're going to stay in the master room, and once we decorate it, I think we'll be happier, because we were swaying if we should change to the other spare room with the ensuite, but I think that would be a bad decision. So basically, I'm just going to keep the spare room as a spare room, get a nice cheap double bed frame. I've already got a double mattress. Decorate that room. I've got some nice kind of sage green curtains. That'll be kind of the accent in there. And I think I'll just paint both of those rooms like a nice stone colour. That's the plan anyway. For now, it is off to Barnbougle Castle to drop off some bits for a girl's wedding. And this table plan is beautiful. Let me just show you. So usually people don't opt, they just opt for printing, but this girl wanted some little extra details which I think are beautiful, and this just ties through all of her stationery perfect. We designed a little kind of monogram over our initials, J and E, and that runs through everything from our invites. This is kind of the same theme that's on our menus and name cards, welcome board. And it just looks super lovely. So I'm off to go drop off this amongst other bits to Barnbougle Castle.
Get to that and start playing with that then. At the week.
Good morning. It's a couple of days later. I say a couple, I think it's been a week. I'm getting really terrible at this whole vlogging game. Life is too busy. Anyway, I left you as I was going to Barnbougle Castles. It was such a beautiful drive in. It was very wholesome. There was little baby lambs, Highland cows, sheep, just like trotting around the fields as you drive in. And obviously it's spring summer, so everything is in bloom. It just looked gorgeous, and it's right on the water at South Queensferry. So it's this big castle, right on the water, gorgeous grounds. It was just so nice, and there's not many places that I go and think I would get married there, because like, as we know, my heart is at the Mansfield and always will be. But when I was driving in, I was thinking, this is lovely. And I think it helped because it was such a glorious day. But anyway, we went there. You'll have seen we then went to our sip and paint, and it was such a good night. We still need to pick up our paintings actually, but it did kind of reignite the love that I had for painting and art. And I was wondering whether I should like get materials and take that up as a hobby again, because it was very fun, therapeutic. Time flies when you're painting and you get in the zone, and it was just really, really lovely. And Darren enjoyed himself as well. He was so funny. He had not a clue what was happening. He found a potato masher, and that was his tool for the evening. He would not let anyone touch the potato masher. That was his tool. But yeah, it was lovely and nice to just like meet other people that are into it. And the woman runs this workshop. And if you remember when I was talking about the project that we were doing a while ago, opening the bar, we were working with a joinery shop fitter type of company, and they were based in Leith, and since then they have expanded, have moved offices. So this was actually in their old office, which we were walking up and we're thinking, surely this is not going to be in the same place. Right enough, it was. I think floods of flashbacks came through both of us, a little bit of PTSD from that project, but I was just like, what a coincidence that it was in the same building. And she was like, did you find it okay? We were like, yes, we've been here many a times. And I think she was quite confused why we had been there many a times. We didn't delve into it because that's a subject that we don't really talk about that much anymore. Since then, I have been a busy bee as per usual, doing lots of house tasks that I've been putting off. So yesterday it was sunny, I got the power washer out and I just went to town on everything. Anything and anything that I could power wash, I power washed. All the windows, the patio, the car, the wheelie bins, everything. I was on a mission, so everything is sparkly and gleaming and shiny today, which makes me really happy. It was a task, especially the windows down here, I was putting off for months, just because we were getting so much work done, and they were so dirty. I've cleaned them now, and looking out at them, I'm like, wow, clean. I also did place a few clothes orders because I've got a lot happening this summer and I am going to rewear a few things, but I also just wanted to kind of freshen up and brighten up my wardrobe with some pieces, cheap pieces. I bought a couple expensive pieces, some cheap things, just to kind of fill out my summer wardrobe, because I felt like I was lacking in a few things, this dress being one of them. This is one of the cheaper options. Don't know if I can place you somewhere and show you. This is just a dress from SHEIN that I picked up. I know it's controversial, but their pieces are so cheap and handy just for every day that you may be looking for, that you feel you're lacking but don't want to spend too much money on. I like to get dressed every day. Obviously everyone does, but like I like to get properly dressed every day, and I just needed like dresses, like cheap summer nice dresses just to fill my wardrobe out so I can just pick them day by day. So this is one of them. You might be wondering why I'm dressed today. I'm dressed, I'm up, and I am off to a caravan. My brother is on his holidays, so my mum has my little niece, and they're at a caravan at North Berwick. So I'm going to go pick my grandma up, and we're going to go for the day and just see what's happening. So my plan is to go get coffee, pick grandma up, and then I believe we're going to some sort of like character show. Yay! Go for lunch and just spend some time with my niece. So I'm going to be the cool auntie that rocks up.
Big smiles! In the air sometimes, make a rain go, don't let's go. I wanna celebrate life so nice, make a rain, let's go, make this blue, make it shine real bright, gonna bright that.
Good morning from my makeshift dressing room. We're obviously back from the caravan now. We had the best time. It was just so wholesome and lovely, especially like taking grandma and having a little road trip, and yeah, it was really lovely. I was definitely super tired though, like even just one day with, I'm going to say toddler, is very exhausting, and I had minimum sleep the night prior, so it was very tiring. So I came home and conked out in bed. We're now into the working week, but the sun is shining, hence why I'm in my gym wear. I went a nice morning walk this morning with Cole, wherever he may be, you might be able to see him. And I'm just going to stay like this, no makeup, because I'm just going to be doing stuff around the house today and outside, like cutting the grass, all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to stay as we are with no makeup in my gym wear. But I thought before I get into that, I'm going to get into what I have been purchasing now. Before I show you what I've been buying, as we know, we've moved house, we're planning a wedding. We're not really meant to be spending, we're meant to be saving our pennies. There's a few events coming up I mentioned that I needed some new pieces for, so I went ahead and got some bits. Now, what I do and have been doing quite a while now is using a plugin on my laptop which basically generates cashback on tons of sites, when you're shopping online. You then get some cashback on every purchase that you're making. It varies widely depending on where you're shopping, how much you're spending, etc, etc. But I thought I would share a little bit about it. I do have a little referral link which basically gives you £8 credit straight off the bat using my link. But basically it's called GOCASHBAck. You may have heard of it, you may not have heard of it, so I'll explain a little and how it works and the type of brands that are on there. But basically it's a Google Chrome plugin. You just hit like install and then it sits as a little tab on top of your Safari, and whenever you're on a site that has it, it'll kind of pop up and you'll say activate and it'll activate the cashback, and just over time it accumulates and then you can withdraw to PayPal, whatever is your preference, and it's literally like straight up cash that you just get back from shopping. So we can't complain, we are here for saving the pennies. I have accumulated quite a lot of cash from doing this over the years. You can do it on small purchases, large purchases. There's like holiday sites, like booking sites, for larger purchases. There's luxury brands like Farfetch, Net-a-Porter, and I always count it Intimissimi, the luxury lingerie and kind of loungewear brand. So yeah, there's quite a few higher end brands on there. There's also kind of lower budget places like Look Fantastic, Space NK, Nike, a lot of high street brands. Literally everything and anything is on there. Beauty, clothes, homeware, holiday, everything. And it does no harm just installing it, having it on your Google Chrome window and just literally hit and activate whenever you're on a site, and just watch the money accumulate and withdraw when you feel like you want it. Honestly, I have been using this for quite a while and it feels like a little nugget of free money whenever you want to withdraw. And yeah, just a nice incentive. And it's also if you're wanting to maybe buy something a bit more luxury from like Farfetch or whatever, it kind of justifies the luxury purchase a bit more, knowing that you're going to get a kind of little bit of money back. So yeah, I will leave more info in the description box, and I'll also leave my referral link which will get you an initial £8 straight up into your account. Now let me show you what I've been buying. So a brand I've never, well, I have shopped from them before, but not for years, and it's not a brand that I go to very often, if at all ever. But I was on the hunt for a very specific outfit for my wedding dress shopping day, and I found it at Abercrombie of all places. They had a massive sale on. Their stuff is a little bit more expensive, but they had a discount code on at the time. So my vision is just to have a little cream tweed simple A-line dress and throw over the shoulders a cropped matching blazer, just for a kind of classy chic look. I don't know why, but that is just the vision that I had in my head. I have tried it on already. The sizing from Abercrombie seems to be larger. Like these are a medium and there's quite a lot of room, so perhaps size down, but I quite like having that extra bit of comfort. Then another kind of more expensive place to shop, which we know by now I love, is MILLEN. Their stuff is just so lovely, intricate. This time of year they have gorgeous florals and prints, and perfect for like wedding guest outfits, garden parties, anything really. So this is from the Lydia MILLEN range, and it's a cord. I have tried this on already as well, and I am going to get this skirt tailored to make it shorter because it's just a bit too long for me. They do have a petite range, but I don't think they had my size in it. So this is the top, the matching full skirt. I think it's meant to be a midi, but currently on me it's a maxi, but I am going to get it tailored to be a midi. And this just being the cord, it makes it so much more versatile. Like you can wear this on its own with a white vest, kind of casuals it down a little bit more. You can wear the top with some white trousers, perfect for like garden parties, that sort of thing. And you will have seen from the clip previously the green dress that I had on, which was a much cheaper option. That was just from SHEIN. Controversial, I know. Also got just a plain, I love navy and white stripes in summer. I just think it's super classy, especially with tan accessories. So I just picked up this plain dress. It's got a kind of wrap style collar detail going on at the top. And I also picked up some flat shoes. I was struggling to find any shoes that match my YSL, and these are perfect. Like they're almost identical with the tan leather detail and the kind of canvas little sling back, just for kind of more casual. I don't own very many flat shoes, so I definitely needed some. And of all places, all the shoes that I have that are flats that are comfortable have came from SHEIN. That is all I got. House-wise, I can't remember if I have shown you the ladder. Did I show you the ladder that I got off Amazon? This is in all its glory, just a plain little ladder. This came and it's too small. It's much smaller than I thought it was going to be. My plan was to have like foliage hanging out of it, but I might actually just use my beach wicker basket. Anyway, I'll probably just bin that because it's not the right size or shade. It was super cheap from Amazon. But I do really like the ladder. I just think with a bigger kind of wicker basket with some fresh foliage would just kind of finish off this little nook over here. I think that's all I had to show you, so I'm going to wrap up this vlog here and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.